Our taste in film may seem destructive, but this is a productive dialogue. Damn it, your mother ate my dog.
Hello, Josh.
Hey, Jesse, welcome back to an episode of Your Mother Ate My Dog, the podcast.
The podcast?
It is episode 25. Episode 25 or 25, that's 1/4 of 100.
Sure is.
Can you believe that we've been doing this for 8 months
I cannot.
and only doing 25 episodes in those 8 months?
That seems like a long time and not a lot of output, doesn't it?
That's true, but I mean, 52 weeks in a year.
That's true. Got some quick maths right there.
This week, our podcast episode movie of the episode, Trainspotting.
Mm-hmm.
It's Scottish. I think last episode I called it Irish or something, and it's definitely not Irish. It was definitely Scottish.
Yes. I knew that pretty quick because I had a hard time understanding what most people were saying. I struggle with that accent.
We'll get into it a little bit more once we get to our podcast movie of the week segment.
Mm-hmm.
But subtitles were on pretty quickly.
Yeah, the way I watched it, I couldn't turn them on, so I really had to put my listening ears on.
Well, I think you'd probably get used to it pretty quickly. There were some things, though, that you probably would have wanted subtitles for.
Perhaps.
We don't need to put subtitles on for our first segment of the episode 25, Your Mother May Die, the podcast, because it's Happy Birthday, Janet is the first segment of the podcast. My mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Janet.
That is a special segment.
She will not listen to this, so she will never know how we're doing this.
Right.
But it's nice. Oh, I see you're recording by an open window. It's nice.
Yeah, I'm like right on the side of the highway this week.
It is pretty warm out there. Well, it's getting a little cooler, but I understand the window's open. In my studio, my window is closed out of respect for our listeners.
Yeah, I thought maybe that it'd get maybe sort of like an immersive feeling. You know, like maybe you're driving in your car listening, and then you're wondering, well, I wonder what those cars outside my window sound like. Well, wonder no more.
Well, last week we got that motorcycle sound. I don't know if you remember.
I do. I was hanging out at Wheelies, the motorcycle bar that's in town, and yeah, they were just kind of ripping by. And now I'm on the side of the highway.
Is that a real thing? I've never heard of it.
Yes, it is.
Where is that?
I think it's on Rock Bay Road.
Oh, that'll explain it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Happy Birthday, Janet. That is first segment. Normally our second segment, or one of the early segments we have for the podcast recently, is the good news of the week.
Mm-hmm.
This week we're skipping the good news segment of the week, but I have something better for you.
Great. I got sick and tired of that good news. I mean, I want some bad news for once. I'm hoping that's what the next segment is, the bad news of the week.
Well, that is a pretty good segue into the segment. I, for some reason, in the last week or so, I've been getting a lot of scam emails.
Okay.
You know, those scam emails where somebody who may or may not have English as their first language send you an email. They find you somehow and they want to give you all of their money in exchange for investing their money or something like that.
Right.
Well, somehow I've been getting a lot of scam emails into my spam email, and I wanted to read a few.
I'd love to hear them. Lately I've been on some like sort of dubious websites, and you know, naturally they asked for email, and I just figured you could take one for the team, and I just put your emails in. Maybe that's why.
A theory somebody may have is I've originally quit my job, and perhaps the old job that I quit wanted to get back at me by sending my email to overseas.
Right.
Maybe that's what it is. Okay,
That could be it.
so there's been six scam emails. 3 of them have a lot of text. 3 of them do not.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll kind of mix them in a little bit. It'll go pretty
Okay.
quickly. I think good news not happening. Scam emails happening. The first one comes to me from a Mrs. Aisha El Gaddafi. Last name may sound familiar to you.
Mm-hmm.
Al Gaddafi. Dear friend, I came across your email contact prior a private search while in need of your assistance. My name is Aisha Gaddafi, a single mother and a widow with 3 children. I am the only biological daughter of the late Libyan president,
Oh.
Muammar Gaddafi, apparently. I have investment funds worth $27,500,000 United States dollars, and I need a trusted investment manager / partner because of my current refugee status. However, I am interested in you for investment, project assistance. Sorry, she's cut these paragraphs in such a way, and that's how I'm reading them.
Mm-hmm.
In your country, maybe from there we can build business relationship in the nearest future. I am willing to negotiate investment / business profit sharing ratio with you based on the future investment earning profits. If you are willing to handle this project on my behalf, kindly reply urgent to enable me provide you more information about the investment funds. Your urgent reply will be appreciated, and all emails should be at the email below. Best regards, and that's Mrs. Aisha G48 at gmail.com. So that was the first one.
And how did your response, how did you write your response? I mean, I'm sure you're sort of in dealings with this person and sort of well into your investment opportunity.
Yeah, it was a lot of urgent.
Mm-hmm.
I accept. So the theme of these emails is everybody thinks that I'm a trusted investment manager / partner for some reason, even though I have no schooling, no background in that.
I think maybe it's due to the success of our podcast. So well, that's so successful. I'm sure they're successful on sort of other things as well.
It could be. The second one, it's called loan offer. No subject. Do you need an urgent loan? Text your full name to 850-400-8182. Urgent seems to be a pretty important word to these people. So if you need an urgent loan, text your full name to 850-400-8182.
Okay, done.
The third one is from Sergeant Monica.
Oh,
and it just says, "Hello, dear. Can we talk?" The next one's from a Matthew Bowles. And then it says, Bowles. It says, "Hello, I need your assistance in this very matter." That's it.
You don't get to know what the matter is. He just needs assistance.
And then that leads us to the next one here, which is my favorite. I got this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's from a Mrs. Hassanal. Hassanal. Hassanal.
Okay. Hassanal.
Sure,
Mm-hmm.
And the title is Greeting. Dear beloved, that is I. I'm glad to know you, but God knows you better, and he knows why he has directed me to you at this point in time, so do not be afraid. I am the above-named person, Mrs. Hassanal Alao. I am from Damascus, Syrian Arab Republic, presently seeking asylum in Burkina Faso, with my sickness due to Syrian political affairs. Oh, and a note, I should say she does not use periods, she only uses commas.
Okay, good to know.
But she capitalizes the letter after the comma.
Oh, so it's a new sentence.
Yeah.
Right,
Please,
okay.
I am writing this mail to you with heavy tears in my eyes and great sorrow in my heart. I want to tell you this because I don't have any other option than to tell you, because I never knew things would turn this way, as I was touched to cry out and open up to you. I had been working as Ministry of Economy and Trade for 16 years before I became sick and very unwell to continue the work that I started with my beloved husband. I'm married to Dr. Sufyan Al-Alau. We were married for 31 years with a child of 14 years old son. He died after a brief illness that lasted for only 5 days. She's talking about her husband, not her son.
Oh,
Since his death, I decided not to remarry or get a child outside my matrimonial home. When I was the Ministry of Economy and Trade in capital city of Damascus, Syrian, I deposited the sum of $8,900,000 United States dollars in a bank. That's less than the $27,500,000 from the other person, but
noted.
presently this money is still with the bank. I made this money available for exportation of cotton and clothing. Unfortunately, recently my doctor told me that I would not last for the periods of next few months due to cancer problem. The one that disturbs me most is my stroke sickness. Having known my condition, I decided to hand you over this money to invest in a manufacturing and real estate management industry in your country for the benefit and education of my son, Sufyan Jr. You will utilize this money the way I'm going to instruct herein. I want you, being me, to take 35% of the total money for your personal use, while the remaining 65% for my son, who will be staying under your kind custody until he is matured enough to take care of himself. The reason, because I grew up as an orphan and I don't have anybody as a family member, I am doing this so that God will forgive my sins and accept my soul, because this sickness has suffered me so much. I need strong assurance that you will never let me down. If I transfer this money to your account, tell me more about yourself. While I look forward to hearing from you, I want to assure you that this is risk-free and you can send an empty account to receive the funds, provided the account is capable to receive incoming funds. As soon as I receive your reply, I shall give you the contact of the bank, and I will also instruct the bank lawyer to issue you a will that will prove you the present beneficiary of the fund in the bank, which is, if you assure me you will act accordingly as I stated herein. Waiting to receive your response very urgently. Thank you for your time and attention. Sincerely, Mrs. Hassanal Allow.
That was very thought out.
Yeah, so basically, we're going to give you $8.9 million. You get to take 35% of that, which is
And a child.
$3 million. And you have to, yes, you have to adopt a 14-year-old child somehow.
Okay.
But
well,
you
that seems worth it.
Yeah, you must invest in real estate. There's one more from a 75-year-old British woman, but it's pretty similar to
Right.
to the last one. So we'll skip that one. But yeah, you're telling me it's been a crazy week.
You're a popular guy and good with investments.
I've quit my job and now I've invested in both of those.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so those cameos, and it sounds like they're going to just keep coming. So,
well, that's something to look forward to. I mean, we need material for the next week's episode.
We'll take this podcast on the road with the kind of money that
that
we're receiving.
Yeah, we will go to Damascus,
Syrian Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was my week. Now I know you haven't really talked much in this podcast so far, so I want to give you an opportunity with your own segment.
Right.
I'm going to let you choose this time.
Okay.
You can either give us another band of the week,
mm-hmm.
or a movie of the week, or something else entirely that you think of on your own.
Okay. Well, I am happy to provide you with a movie of the week yet again. It's my favorite segment, and just to our new listeners, this is not the movie of which we're going to be speaking about. This is not the podcast movie of the week. This is just the movie of the week. And this week, it's a little movie called Dr. Giggles. Now, this is a movie I watched with my good friend Josh here. Do you recall that film?
Can you explain what happens in it to me?
Well, basically, there's a doctor. That much is certain. And he's kind of crazy. I'll be honest, I don't remember much about this movie. But it got 18% on Rotten Tomatoes. Doesn't that sound promising? It was one of those ones we watched like on VHS back in the day. And honestly, I was just scrolling through the movies I've seen, and that was the one that I landed on. And so there you go.
The name does sound familiar.
Yes. And that is our movie of the week, Dr. Giggles, a real name of a movie.
Do you remember the German movie that we watched at the place before your new place? That was a VHS.
Mm-hmm.
It had two different names.
Yes.
I tried to find it because I know after we finished watching it, we found that the whole thing was on YouTube. So I tried to find it again on YouTube, but I think they took it down.
Yes, like I do remember.
The American, Violent Shit 3 or something.
Yeah, I do remember
that. It had a different
name.
It had a different name on the VHS.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called on the VHS, but that was a wild movie. It was terrible, but then the ending was like a little redeeming in a way.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure. Anyways, thank you so much for that movie of the week.
You're welcome. Oh, yes. Don't forget about this part of our podcast.
Yeah, so while you were talking about the movie of the week, I was going for the follower of the week, trying to find a good follower of the week, and I did. I found one.
Okay.
So this week's follower of the week, the handle of their Instagram is Sean, SHAWN, 12, the number, AM.
Right.
He goes by the name Sean. According to himself, he's an astrologist and psychic.
Oh.
The bio he has is, I'm an undivided medium. I like making new friends, especially those in the paranormal. I do personal homes a lot. And he links to a YouTube channel.
Oh, is this a popular YouTube channel?
He has 192 subscribers. He gets like an average of... His last video 6 months ago, a CBD pain bomb.
CBD pain bomb.
It's a picture of it's like a tub. 29 views 6 months ago.
I don't know how that pertains to being a medium.
I don't know, a minute and 35 seconds. And then his first video, he only has 4 videos on his YouTube channel. It's just called It's Me with 111 views.
Oh. So It's Me clearly better than CBD bath bomb.
Well, yeah, that's where he hooked people in.
Right.
He has 61 posts. It looks like you did like one of his posts in order to get him to follow us, and it's the one you liked is just him.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a car. There's a cowboy hat behind him. He has a cigarette in his mouth, and he's just looking at the camera.
Okay. Is there a floating hat behind him? Like, is maybe he connecting and speaking to this ghost in the back seat?
No, it's definitely just sitting there.
Oh.
And the description on the photo is, yep, period, that kind F day. So we forgot the O in of. That kind F day has one comment, and that's just him.
Oh.
No, it's just him saying that again.
Oh, like, okay. Well, it do be that kind of F day. A kind F day.
And then you liked a second photo of. Well, you liked a few photos, but the second one, it happened the same day, May 13th.
Mm-hmm.
He posted this. It's him in his mirror taking a picture. Meow. He has a cane. It looks like he uses a cane to get around. He's in his bedroom,
Okay.
and then he says, "Yes." Period. So he likes saying "yep" and
Yep.
"yes."
And yep. And yes.
Even crippled can be sexy, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
winky face.
Well,
There's
I
8
can't.
comments.
Oh, 8 comments does surprise me. I agree with that statement.
You did because you like the picture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, Sean, that he's our follower of the week. The astrologist and psychic astrology may play into our later segment in the episode. We don't know yet. Thank you for being our follower of the week. We do not follow you back. Unlikely we will, but thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And I must have been in a sort of, cowboy hat in the back seat, sort of feeling kind of way, kind of day. And that's what led me to like him and find his photo. I must have searched, hashtag cowboy car seat.
Yeah, certainly could have.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of cowboy car seats, let's just transition smoothly into why we're all here, and that's our podcast movie of the week. This week, watched Trainspotting, the 1996 classic.
Yes.
This could go either way, I think, for you. So, what do you think? How did you feel about this movie?
And this movie is considered a classic. Do you think that's would you consider it a classic? Not like your experience of it, but like hearing about it. It's like, oh yeah, the classic movie. I've heard of it. Everyone's heard of this. Trainspotting.
This is a movie I definitely have heard of before. I think it holds pretty high regard. It was named the best Scottish film of all time in the year 2004. Does that include Braveheart? I don't know.
I don't know if that counts as a Scottish film.
This film was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay in the 1996 Academy Awards.
Oh, yeah, it's like
lost
a
to
novel.
Sling Blade. It is
Oh.
based off of a novel, yeah.
Okay.
Turns out Billy Bob Thornton wrote a screenplay in 1996 and won an Oscar for it.
Sling Blade. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
if you've never seen that movie, you would have no idea what I was doing just then. But that's what he sounds like.
Ernest. You sound like Jim Varney.
I did a little, but I also sound like his character in Sling Blade. I promise.
I would say, to your question, yes, I would say that this would be considered a classic, and after watching the movie, I can kind of understand why.
Well, it's quite a dark film in a lot of ways.
Did you have any idea what it was about when you chose it?
No, I really did not.
You just knew it was Ewan McGregor, and that was it.
Ewan McGregor, that's what I knew. And I assumed there was trains, and I was let down.
That's interesting because this is like his second movie. He's in Danny Boyle directed this movie. Danny Boyle, known for Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah.
And other things. The first movie he did was Shallow Grave 2 years earlier in 94, which is how he got casted in this role.
Yeah.
And so maybe if you did a little more digging, you would have picked that movie instead of this movie, assuming it wasn't about heroin and other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great pick for a movie, though. I liked it.
It was different. I will say that. It was fun watching Ewan McGregor. He was so young, I mean, in like 2 years, he's doing The Phantom Menace. Or 3 years, I suppose. He didn't look all that young in that, but in this one, he's like especially young.
Yes. And that's all you have to say about the movie?
That's it. That's the last thing I need to say. No, I guess this is supposed to be like a drama / comedy, I suppose. I mean, that's what it says on, I guess if you just kind of Google it, that's what it says.
It's the Scottish Pulp Fiction.
The Scottish Pulp Fiction. Hmm.
That's what it. That's what they said. I didn't just make that up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, I just finished watching this movie, like maybe 2 hours ago. Still sort of, sitting with it still, I suppose. I thought I might come into this one nice and fresh. Well, what are your first thoughts? Like, what's going through your mind right now?
Well, I knew the movie was about drugs and
Okay.
poverty
Mm-hmm.
before you chose the movie.
Right.
So I had a pretty good idea. I mean, I was surprised that this is a movie that you wanted to see a little bit. But I thought that I was going to be I thought it was going to be a good movie, and I wasn't disappointed. Like, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was funny, and I thought the characters were pretty fleshed out. Yeah,
Yeah.
and McGregor did a great job, and I don't know. I'm struggling to find compare this movie to something else, but it seemed like they were all playing real people. Like
Mhm.
I don't know. I thought it was great, and it was well done.
Great and well done.
I thought it was. It didn't seem like it seemed like a pretty low budget movie, but maybe it wasn't. I haven't looked.
Yeah.
Considering the people attached, I thought the villain, Begbie, played it real well. I thought the
Mm-hmm.
secondary characters did a great job.
Totally.
No complaints. And interesting. There were obviously some interesting parts that you probably won't find in films these days.
Yes.
Perhaps the underage girl part.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of drug use, probably not either. You
Yeah.
might find that on HBO. You're not going to find that on just random
Yeah.
movie. What else? The worst toilet in Scotland. That's kind of how this movie started, and then you're like, okay, it kind of set a tone.
Yes, it did.
It was chocolate. They used chocolate, good
Okay.
smelling chocolate.
That's good.
Assuming they also used good smelling chocolate for that scene
With Spud.
with Spud. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely very
Um,
disgusting in parts.
yes, very disgusting in parts. Perhaps they were just showing how bad drugs are. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they were pretty successful in that. When you were saying you were trying to compare this to another film, have you seen Requiem for a Dream?
No. Have you seen Eternal? Um, Eternal
Sunshine of a Spotless Mind?
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one and Requiem for a Dream.
Jim Carrey. No, I haven't seen it. I can see the VHS cover or the DVD cover of
Right.
it.
This is sort of like Requiem for a Dream in a way, but a little bit more. Not a little bit more. Requiem for a Dream is very much a drama, where this is somewhat a comedy.
That Jared Leto.
Jared Leto is in that, yes. But that's a pretty messed up movie. So there's little parts of that, and it came out at a similar time as well. Yeah, there was a lot of compelling characters. I really liked Begbie. I mean, I didn't like him, but he was successful in, I guess, what he was going for, which was a really obnoxious, stern asshole, I suppose you could say. And I like Spud in his own way. And I liked all the characters, but I think Ewan McGregor was maybe the standout. He definitely was, which helps because he was the main character.
Yep.
And yeah, the pretty dark scenes with the baby that dies.
Oh yeah, the baby. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, that was pretty messed up.
Yeah, and then it kind of comes back and haunts McGregor's character later on when he's sort of going through withdrawal. You know, he's like locked up in that room and the baby's like crawling on the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty messed up. But then there was like some pretty outrageous moments that were good. I don't know. It was a good mix of comedy and drama. So I think that is truly what it was.
So, are you struggling to figure out if you like this movie or not?
Um, yeah, I guess I'm a little on the fence. I would say part of the problem. I mean, this is a me thing, I suppose. I was having a hard time understanding what they were saying at times. You know, like I got for sure like a good 80% of it. 10% of it I was having maybe a little bit of a hard time. 10% of it I was like, you know what, that probably wasn't that important. And it's just like, that's okay. We're not too worried about it. But again, the Scottish accent is tough for me. And I couldn't find a copy of this that had subtitles. I'm sure that helped a lot.
Yeah, but it probably didn't. It probably didn't help that much.
Yeah, there's not like a ton. This is not like a hugely dialogue driven, like I need to follow all the plot points sort of thing.
Yeah, you get the gist of it. I think that's all you need.
Yeah, agreed.
I do have a question for you,
Okay.
and this may decide if you liked the movie or didn't like the movie.
Mm-hmm.
There is a sequel.
All right.
After watching this movie, would you want to watch the sequel?
Probably. Just because I'd be interested to see. I mean, like it came out 20 years later, right?
Yeah, and all the same people are in it,
That'd be kind of interesting, I suppose.
except
I
for
don't know.
Tommy, obviously, who died because of drugs and um, being too close to his cat poop.
Yes. Yeah, things went pretty bad for Tommy.
Well, unless you've seen Grey's Anatomy, then he seemed to have a successful run as a doctor. So
Yeah. Good old Grey's Anatomy. I've totally watched that.
he's a beloved character in it.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I should say, totally unrelated to the film. So my cats, I just see them. They're sort of having a bit of a time right now, and they're sort of drifting in and out, and they're hungry right about this time. So they're being annoying. So if you hear some meows or some rustling, that's what it is. But anyway, I digress.
Okay, well, sounds like you want to wrap this up so we can
No, we don't have
do
to wrap
just
it up
that.
necessarily.
Oh,
I was just
wrap it up.
wrap it
Due
up.
to the skimpy budget, most scenes had to be shot in just one take.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that.
For the close-up shots of Ewan McGregor injecting himself with heroin, a prosthetic arm was constructed by the makeup department, complete with pulsing veins, smack tracks, and small pockets of blood that would appear when the skin was punctured by a hypodermic needle.
I was wondering about that. I'm like, boy, that seems awfully like whose arm are they using right now? But I get there. That answers it.
The underage girl in this was supposed to be 14 or 15 in the film, but was actually 19 years old when making it. So
Okay,
that makes you feel better.
in a way, I remember her character from No Country for Old Men. She was in that.
The actor who played Begbie told the interviewer that he played him as a closeted gay man whose outbursts of violence were due to his fear of being outed.
Huh. There is that scene where he ends up sort of getting sexually involved with someone who I think is supposed to be trans.
Right, yes. That is true. Okay, so your expectations for this movie were zero. You had no idea what it was.
Absolutely not.
There were trains in it. I actually don't I'm sure the word train spotting means
It
something.
must mean something. It must be some sort of slang word or something. Oh, yes.
Are those children yelling?
Those are children next door.
Wow. Train spotting is the practice of watching trains, particularly as a hobby, with the aim of noting distinctive characteristics.
Maybe we're supposed to that was supposed to be like the characters.
Another scene that I liked in the movie was when Spud and Renton, played by Ewan McGregor, they stole Tommy's porn VHS
Yeah.
that Tommy kept in the best 100 football goals of all time or whatever.
No. He didn't keep it in there. Mark switched it when he wasn't looking. So he switched one of the tapes was labeled Tommy and forget the name of the girl. And then he took it out of that and put it in the top 100 goals and switched it around. That's why when Tommy tried to watch it with that girl, it was started playing soccer highlights because he had switched it to sneak it out of there.
I apologize. I saw this movie days ago, so.
Oh, that's fair.
Well, okay.
Yes. Anyway.
So sad about the baby. No, I wish you didn't bring that up.
My bad. Can you be a little louder, please? Thank you. There, I told them to sort of up the noise a little.
It didn't work. Okay, so expectations. How did this film meet or exceed or not exceed your expectations?
I suppose maybe it maybe met my expectations. I mean, I didn't really have many. I did hear that it was supposed to be like. I mean, I had heard of this film, and maybe if you mention it in passing, somebody would be like, "Oh yeah, that movie. I know that movie." So it has some sort of, it's it's regarded well, I suppose, in some sense.
91% on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, I saw the 91% as well. I mean, I wasn't, for me, not a 91% movie, but it was a good movie. So I think maybe it sort of met my expectation.
You don't listen to these, but sometimes when Moose is making noise, and we can hear it pretty loudly, it doesn't translate on the podcast for whatever reason. So maybe these screaming children won't actually make any noise.
So really, it would just be me screaming at nothing.
Yeah, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say it probably met my expectations, or even exceeded, because I don't know. I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this isn't Lars and the Real Girl good movie, but
right.
It was a successful. I mean, we haven't had a movie in a long time that we were given bad scores to, so I think we're doing a much better job at picking movies.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because we're not going 1980s horror movies
right
anymore, but I think maybe we should.
Well, there's got to be a balance too, because you get a little weary of watching films that perhaps are supposed to be pretty bad. So you're like, maybe I'll pick a movie that's supposed to be good, so I can actually watch something I want to watch.
Right.
Like, I mean, I picked Green Lantern, for instance.
We picked a lot of bad movies at the beginning.
We did. Who knows? We might go back to our roots.
Not next week. Okay. Well, that's good. Any other notes you have on the movie?
Not really. Oh, I liked the soundtrack. Soundtrack was pretty fun.
Pretty good, yeah.
Especially like the Euro pop. Like I don't know. I liked it. The club music.
Yeah, it was good. It fit the aesthetic of the film very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how this movie was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay. But that's good, I guess.
Well, it could have been adapted well from the original source material. Maybe it really closely sort of...
Yeah, I don't think that's how that works.
Is that not how that works? It's like the best... they did the best job of adapting that source material onto the screen.
Well,
So that's what that meant.
There's two different screenplay categories. So one are best original screenplay, and that's somebody just makes it up without basing it on anything,
Yeah.
and then so what would they be scored on then? Just like writing well.
Yeah.
So then,
So
best
so
adapted
you're saying that a best adapted screenplay is a film that has been adapted from original source material, and then we're just judging how good the film is, not like how well it is been adapted from the original source material. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, how good the writing is, not necessarily how good of a job they did adapting it. Because then
Okay.
wouldn't Batman versus Superman have won best adapted screenplay back in the day?
Ooh, why would that have
'Cause-
been?
because everybody loves Batman and Superman, and it was
But that movie
adapted.
sucked, though.
I don't know. I never saw it. Okay, so we might as well just jump into our scores then.
Let's do it.
So we normally start with acting.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about this. I'll start first just to get my talking out of the way.
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor plays Mark Renton. Very early role for him. He was very convincing as a heroin addict, I thought. Played the impoverished slums of Scotland role very well. The way he swam in that toilet, top notch.
Yep.
Made of chocolate. Robert Carlyle played Bigby. Very terrific.
Yep.
Real disliked guy, which I'll talk about this when we talk about the ending, but the fact that he did such a great job playing that villain made the ending better, so made the movie better.
True.
Secondary roles, such as Spud, and we haven't really talked about Johnny Lee Miller as what's his face,
Sick boy.
Sick Boy, but he did well. He did pretty well as well.
Pretty well as well.
I can't name a bad performance because they all felt like they were playing real people. Like it just seemed like it was all pretty natural for them to play these roles. Nobody was overacting. So I gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, for me, the acting was definitely like the best part, for sure. And yeah, solid performances definitely all around. And I would definitely highlight the same people you did, Ewan McGregor and Robert Carlyle probably being the best. Yeah, like you said too, pretty natural and pretty believable, and not a bad performance at any of them. My score for acting was an 8. Whoa.
All right. Well, then, how did you feel about the ending of the movie, the most important part of the movie, in my eyes? How did you feel about that?
It was an interesting ending. Open ended in a way. I mean, the whole movie, I guess you're sort of, for me anyway, I was sort of rooting for Ewan McGregor's character. You know, like I sort of wanted him to succeed. Especially like, you know, when they happen upon that large cache of drugs and they're trying to sell it, and they're like, okay, well, they needed someone to test it to see if it was good, and I was like, no, don't. I didn't want him to like relapse, you know. And then at the end, he steals all the money that they make from that deal, and you're hopeful that he's going to sort of turn things around, and he's sort of seen the ups and downs, and you're kind of hoping that that's going to be the ultimate sort of the finale, I guess, of his life. Like he's going to sort of be all up from there. But I mean, he admits as he's running away that, you know, he's not a good person. So I don't know. It makes you think a little, and it's open ended in a good way, I guess. For me, it was the same score as acting. I put it as an 8.
Okay, yeah, he was one of those like anti-heroes
Right.
that you we're cheering for, even though he did bad things to people
Mhm.
because of his drugs he stole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well. These scores are not going how I thought they were going to go. Ending for me, I gave it a 7. 7 out of 10. Pretty standard happy ending. Considering we were cheering for him to win,
Right.
to get the money, even though it wasn't really that much money. They
No.
teased it. They teased it a little bit, kind of before the climax, so it was pretty clear.
Wow.
It was pretty. I just punched the microphone. That'll stay in because they teased it a little bit. Like we knew where it was going, but
Yeah.
it still felt pretty good
Mhm.
when watching him do it and watching Spud just stare at him and get his little money at the
Little
end.
cut. Yeah.
Left a positive taste in your mouth, which is a lot like heroin, I think, but I wouldn't know.
Right.
You inject that.
You
It's
don't.
like in some joke about injecting this movie ending into my veins. This was a movie where it felt like they could have done anything. Like it's a pretty unpredictable movie, but
Mhm.
I'm happy that they stuck with that ending.
Yeah.
7 out of 10. I don't know what would have happened to give me a 10 out of 10 ending. Maybe if it turns out that Renton was like a Russian alien spy from the year
Right.
3000,
And
something like
Bagby.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, and then Bagby was like, hey guys, I'm gay." Then that would have been like,
And then he explodes.
yeah, some sick explosion, or like they did the Slumdog Millionaire like millionaire game at the end.
Yeah. Then it would have been a 10.
Okay, so yeah, 7 out of 10. I'm gonna give my score to 10 because I have a feeling that your score is higher, just considering where we've been so far. My score to 10, 7.5 out of 10. I had it like at 7, but then I'm like, well, there's 0.5 better than that, so it's 7.5. The actors were great. It was the right bit of wacky. Had a decent soundtrack. Very like it was visually appealing for the 90s. Had a unique look to it. I've never been to Scotland,
Mhm.
but this movie does not make me want to go.
No.
7.5.
Okay. Well, it's interesting you should say that you think my score is going to be higher because it's not. Now, I mean, with our grading rubric, we sort of touched on two of the better parts of the film, which was the acting, and I liked the ending quite a bit. But there were some parts of this film I did not like. I thought there was maybe a few too many poop-related situations, which I thought were more off-putting than sort of like enjoyable to watch. And the juvenile nature of this film was cranked up maybe a little too high for me, and it was just like a little off-putting. And I wanted to be like, I'm going to take this like serious, but it was hard for me to do because there was a lot of like silliness, I suppose. Not like a lot of silliness, but there was some, and it. So I don't know, sort of took me out of it a little. Um. So yeah, it brings down my score just enough to be less than yours. Mine is my score is a 7.
Okay,
Especially the
so close.
beginning. The beginning, like the first 20 minutes, I was like, boy, I'm really in for this. Like, I think this movie is not doing it for me. And then you're starting to see more of like a plot. And Ewan McGregor sort of going through these defined stages and like the ups and downs. And I'm like, okay, things are changing for the better. And that's when I started to notice all the actors, their performances, and all that stuff.
Great. 7.5 for me, 7 for you. That was Trainspotting. Are you happy that you picked it?
Yeah, I'm glad I watched it. I had Ewan McGregor on the mind, you know.
Apparently, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to end this segment with just a little bit more interesting facts about the movie. That's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Johnny Lee Miller was cast due to his uncanny Sean Connery accent.
Right. He did love Sean Connery.
The actor who played Spud had previously played Renton in a stage adaptation of the novel.
Oh.
The character who played Tommy missed the photo shoot for the promos because he was on holiday and is the only lead cast member not to be in any of the promotional posters or even the video cover.
Oh.
Oasis were asked to contribute to the soundtrack, but Noel Gallagher declined as he thought the film was actually about train spotters. However, he would later attend the launch party.
Right.
The writing on the wall of the Volcano nightclub is the same as that in the Moloko bar in A Clockwork Orange.
Oh.
There are also paintings of Robert De Niro and Jodie Foster from Taxi Driver.
That's fun.
Have you seen Taxi Driver?
Yes.
Of the main cast, only Johnny Lee Miller is not a Scot. He's from England. English bloke. And then I'll just find one more fun. There are a lot of Beatles references, apparently.
I noticed a couple, like when they were walking across the street, you know, like the classic Abbey Road cover. That's the one I noticed anyway, but
The sequel is also based on a book. Just so you know.
okay.
But that's not the... okay, the last trivia for Trainspotting, and we'll close the book on that. Johnny Lee Miller dyed his hair blonde for the film.
What a way to end it.
Well, if you haven't seen it, it'd be good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, next week's movie will not be Trainspotting 2.
Mm-hmm.
But that might not be a bad idea. I haven't asked you if you've seen this movie. So I'm just going to describe the general plot, the tagline for the movie to you, and you'll know right away if you've seen it or not.
Okay.
Rich people hunt humans.
Okay.
Does that ring a bell? It's a movie from the year 2020.
Oh. No, I don't think I've seen that. I don't even know the movie you're talking about, so probably haven't seen it.
I'm trying to. Oh, there's one well-known actress in it. I always forget her name. Too lazy to look it up. Do you remember that? So this is a TV show that I'm going to describe to you. Have you ever seen The Office?
Yes.
Do you remember the episode where The Office sit around and debate whether an actress is hot or not?
Oh, and they're talking about Hilary Swank?
Hilary Swank's in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Does that ring a bell? Hilary Swank in the movie about rich people hunting not rich people in
I know
a
the movie
foreign
you're
country.
talking about now.
But have you seen it?
No.
Okay, perfect.
Excellent.
Because I'm going camping this weekend, and this is a movie I watched recently. So that means I don't have to watch a movie.
That works out well for you.
But if you had seen it, I did not have a backup plan, but I would find one.
Right.
So
Well,
say you have seen it. Let me just pull up my list of movies, and I'll tell you the alternative. The alternative movie would probably be The original Power Rangers movie
Okay. I haven't
from
seen that.
1994. Okay, well, say that one. I guess. Okay, well, that's the movie for next
Great.
week.
Great.
It's. I don't know if you'll like it or not. It's a movie you probably will have some problem with.
Okay.
But I think there are some things they do in it that are interesting, that kind of like would surprise you. Like, whoa, why? I was not expecting that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just in the kind of the direction that they go, not necessarily the plot.
Okay. I'm excited.
On that note, we're here at the end of the episode. A
Mhm.
good 55 minutes in, which means we only have time for one more segment.
Yes.
Do you want to do some trivia?
Yeah, let's do some trivia.
It's almost 9 o'clock, so we'll get you into bed pretty quickly here.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you right now, Moose, that these are pretty awful questions that that we may, I don't know, we're probably not going to get. Maybe we'll get one. We'll get one right.
All right. Try me.
Question number 1. What was the pen name of writer Samuel Clemens?
Good old.
Pen name of Samuel Clemens. Name a book he's done? I can't.
Okay, I'm guessing Mark Twain.
That is actually a pretty good guess, actually. That probably is right.
Thank you. Probably.
I'll say R.L. Stein.
Okay.
Question 2. The highest mountain in Canada.
Gosh, I don't know. Mount Rainier. Is that in
That's
Canada?
not in Canada. No, it's not.
That's probably in Washington State.
State.
Okay, Mount Washington.
It's probably like Mount Ontario or some garbage like
Something like that. Yep.
that. This is a true or false question. Taurus
Mhm.
is the astrological sign of the goat. True or false?
Of the goat?
The
I don't
astrological
know.
sign of the goat. Taurus.
I don't think
True or
it's supposed to
false?
be a goat. False.
I'm gonna say false as well. It's like a bull or something.
That's what I thought.
See, I remember horns. That
That makes me think of Pokemon, right? Tauros is a Pokemon. It's like a bull.
Right. But this is a U at the end. No. The ancient pilgrim trail in Spain is called what?
Oh. I once knew this, I think. It's like a thing you can. I don't know. I couldn't say.
It's the Oregon Trail.
Yes. That's the one.
So I was looking for a new mobile game to play. I settled on just a bunch of crosswords. Big into crosswords right now. And there was a new Oregon Trail game.
A new one.
For the iOS.
Cool.
Or whatever phone you have. But it costs money, so I did not do it.
Yeah. I used to play that back in the day, like in elementary school. Put the floppy disk in. That was good times.
You can probably get it on your computer somehow.
Oh, I'm sure you
as
could.
well.
Yes.
Maybe I'll look that up once we end here. What children's book character? Question number 5. What children's book character is an elephant who heard a sound from a speck of dust?
Horton.
Horton hears a who. That's great. I'm gonna guess Babar.
Okay.
It's not true. It's not correct, but wow. See? Pretty garbage. I'm not even going to look at the astrological signs or horoscopes, if you will.
Okay.
I'm going to get straight to the answers. What kind of hat does Sir Lancelot wear?
We're answering. Oh, right. These are the jokes. What?
A nightcap. A nightcap.
Right.
Okay, Mark Twain, you're right.
Yeah, buddy.
Mount Logan. Mount Logan is the highest. I'm just going to quickly Google where that is.
It's got to be in BC, right? The Rockies?
Mount Logan.
Or Alberta, possibly.
It just says mountain in Canada. Where are you? Mountain in Canada. It's the 22nd highest Imagine North America. Oh, it's in the Yukon.
Oh, interesting. No, I guess that.
Taurus is a bull.
Okay.
False. The bull. The Spain situation, Camino de Santiago.
Okay.
And then Horton, here's a who. So, you did very well.
Yeah, not too
Better than
bad.
I
Three
thought.
out of 5.
3 to 5. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just, not very smart today. That's okay.
Can't be a winner every day. Well, Josh.
We've done it again. We've gone over an hour.
We have.
And frankly, I think I like it this way,
Yeah, put us on for an hour and enjoy.
There's one person who listens to this, and it's me. So I don't mind listening to us talk for an hour.
Greg listens.
Well, I apologize to Greg.
Sorry, Greg.
Not our listener of the week.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's good. Great if you listen. Let me know. Let us know. So I'll keep doing this or whatever.
Yep. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. And goodbye.
Goodbye.